Alright, what is going on everyone? It's Jack here again. Now today I'm going to be answering a question. Thought I'd get nice and comfy. I've got my pillow here and just sort of sit down and have a chat about a certain topic that I get asked a lot of questions about. It's very important and it comes to sales. So this question comes in a lot of different forms and I get a lot of people asking me, Jack, how do I make sales? How do I ensure that my product's going to make sales? And it comes in different forms as well. Like, Jack, I'm getting a lot of leads on my Facebook ad. I'm getting a lot of clicks. I'm getting a lot of engagement, but no sales. How do I make sure that I'm getting sales on my product? And it's just a lot of unsureness about the topic of sales, especially when it comes to Amazon Australia. And to answer this, I'm going to go back, a bit in my life and just show you guys how I learned about the topic, how I learned about sales. Because I know, if you guys have watched me before, I know that you guys are going to know that I don't like feeding you guys bullshit. I like to get straight to the point, be very true, be very transparent, and very clear, because that's what this YouTube's about. And that's what I'm building this whole brand about, my personal brand. I don't want to build it, with some gimmick or anything like that. If you're Australian, you're going to know exactly what I mean. And just for anyone else out there, because I know that Aussies hate being fed bullshit. Obviously, Americans and anyone else around the world would too, but Aussies especially absolutely hate it. So I know I need to speak to my target audience like that. I know you guys are going to understand. If you're not watching from Australia, you guys will understand that as well. But being an Aussie, you guys will know exactly where I'm coming from. So to get into this story, and to, in order for me to be able to answer this question properly and in depth of how to get sales, I'm probably going to name the title of this video something like, how to ensure that you've got sales. And a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of Amazon sellers, they talk about numbers, they talk about, how many sales per month you've got to be looking at. And it's very important to talk about that. You have to talk about how many sales per month on a product, the revenue per month on a product to look for in order to ensure that your product has sales, because obviously you've got to make sure that it has demand. But majority of people teaching Amazon FBA, especially if that's in Australia, if that's in the US, don't know how many people there is teaching in Australia, but especially in the US, they don't talk about the fundamentals of what you need in order to sell something to someone. And I'm going to talk about that as well. And in order to do that, I'm going to go a bit more in depth about a bit about my backstory before I started this Amazon journey. And this was a couple of years ago, a few years ago that I started now, but I'm going to talk before that and how I sort of learned people, how I learned selling, and how I learned the basics of it. And this is going to be very important to you guys in learning how to sell when it comes to selling on Amazon. And especially for you guys in Australia, it's going to teach you how to sell to Aussies in the Aussie market. So let's get started. So how I learned how to sell, my first job that I had, very sort of first retail job, was at Big W. And you guys who aren't Australian, you might not know, it's just a retail store. It's I guess it's kind of similar to Walmart in a sense, but it's basically a retail store that sold different things, anything from electronics to dog food to bikes, like bicycles, to linen, to books, to clothing, just your general store. So I had that. I got customer experience, but I didn't really learn how to sell. My next job after that was at a retail store. I spent in there about 4 years, and that was at JB Hi-Fi. Now, if you guys don't know what JB Hi-Fi is, if you're not Australian, it's a huge electronic retail store. They sell high-end stuff, like they sell high-end TVs, they sell high-end laptops and tablets, and all your iPhones, and they even sell stuff like gaming consoles, and they sell things like small appliances like coffee machines and vacuum cleaners and whatnot, and they sell a lot. So when I first started there, I was in sales at the start. I moved around. I did things like filling CDs, just your general stuff, filling CDs and DVDs, and working the cash register and things like that, like what you would do in any retail job. But what I learned there and what I did later on was sales. I first started off in a sales position. I started off selling not small appliances, like sort of like your portable stuff. So I was selling cameras, but I was also selling just like your portable Bluetooth speakers, and just sort of headphones and things like that as well. And when I first came into the job, I had no idea how to sell. I had basically I was only just starting to learn how to talk to customers and how to sort of, greet them and introduce them. And it took a while. It took a while for me to start learning. And, at that point I wasn't really good enough to be in sales. That's why I moved around the store. But later on I went, because I first applied for the games position because I was really into gaming and whatnot. But later on down the line, I actually got to the point where I was in a management position for the gaming section, and that role basically what I had to do there was not only manage a couple of other employees in that section, but also was basically the one that was making sure that I had to get sales and had to sell and had to do all the likes and things like that. So basically, when I was in that position, I really learned how to sell to people, and that has really helped me when it's come to selling on e-commerce, selling on places like Amazon. Even I'm starting to learn Shopify now, but even in my own business on how to sell. And this is something that you guys can really take home. I'll probably be talking about it a lot more, and this is sort of the point that I'm trying to drive into all you guys when it comes to finding your product and looking for your product. But what I learned was how to speak to people, how to speak their language, but most of all, how, looking for products that people, it solves a problem for that people want and people need. And not necessarily when it comes to, electronics, high-end electronics like TVs and consoles and things like that. Not necessarily people need those products, but it's products that people want, and it's products that people have interest in. And when it comes to selling on Amazon, when it comes to doing the whole e-commerce, what you guys really need to understand is that when you're looking for a product to sell on Amazon, you can't do it half-heartedly. You can't look at products that, sure, you need to look at products that have demand, because you need to make sure that people need it, or people want this product. But you really need to drill in the fact in your mind when you're looking for products. Think about this one thing, and this is a one rule that's helped me down the line. And I'm going to use my first product as a general experience for this. But you really have to think in your mind and answer the question what problem is this? Is a product that I'm selling? What problem is it going to solve? And that you should go to that point of view for any product that you're looking for. Every time you look for a product that has good demand and that is selling well, it's got good revenue, ask the question to yourself, what problem is it solving? And I'm going to use the example of my first product for this. So my first product that I ever sold, if you guys didn't know, was a Bengal flask, and it's basically in the title. So it was a flask that women used. It was a bangle that women wore that was also a hidden flask. And at the time the numbers were okay. It was probably doing about $3,000 to $5,000 per month when I was looking up the numbers. And if you haven't heard the story, I ordered 300 units in, and I made $3,000 profit in my first month. That was around the Christmas period a couple of years ago, and ended up making $3,000 profit on that. But after that, it didn't sell. So it was a good product for the time, and yeah, I sold out all my units and I made profit doing so. But when it comes down to it, I was looking at all the comments, and I was seeing people leaving reviews and that, and usually the reviews that they'd have on there, people would say things like, "Oh, this is really funny, I'm buying it as a gag gift for my friend," and it would just be people leaving comments about the funny part as to why they're buying it, or if it was just as a gift for a friend, or if it was just like what that other lady said, it's a gag gift for a friend. I didn't get people commenting saying, "Wow, this really helped me." I was stuck trying to hide alcohol in a club. When it came down to it, it wasn't really solving a problem for anyone. So that's why people were only buying it around the Christmas period, and that's why it didn't really sell too much. That's why I stopped selling it, because the sales went down. Since then, I've been finding products that are a lot better, that actually solve problems for people, and it yields great, really good benefits for it. So when it comes down to it, when you're doing your product research, when you're trying to find a product, and this comes through anything. If you're doing Amazon, if you're doing Shopify, if you're trying to sell your own digital product, that's the reason why I created Amazon Seller Excellence, because I knew, looking at the market, that there's a lot of Aussies out there, especially now that Amazon Australia has launched. There's a lot of Aussies out there that don't know how to sell, that have never had an online business, and that are looking to make passive income, that are looking to increase their income as well. people need it. It's solving a problem. It's solving the problem of people not knowing how to sell on Amazon that live in Australia. It's niche down for Aussies, being taught by someone who's done it before, and it is going to help them increase their income. Now, that comes down to when it comes to product research as well. The main question I want you guys to ask yourself is my product going to be solving a problem? If it's got good numbers, if it's got good demand, but it's not necessarily going to solve a problem for people, sure, it might be a good product for a little bit of time, but down the line, people aren't going to need it. You need a product that is not just, not seasonal, that will sell all year round, but it's something that people need. So you got to look at, this is really where you got to, this is where a lot of people who are teaching Amazon they're not going to tell you this, they're not going to teach you this, because a lot of them don't really have experience talking to people, selling with people. I've had 4 years or more, just in retail, and now in the e-commerce world, I've had experience with talking to people, selling to people, finding out what they want, finding out what they need, just overcoming objections and things like that. And it really comes down to knowing how to sell it. It doesn't just come down to putting a product in front of people and running ads and just hoping for the best. It doesn't work like that. You have to learn how to sell. You have to do niche research, do product research, find out what they want. So if you're looking at a product now and you're not sure whether it's a good one to go for, if the numbers look okay, you're in the course, same for you guys in the course. If you're looking at a product and you don't know if it's good or not, just ask yourself this one simple question: is it solving a problem for my target audience? If the answer is yes, then it's most likely a better option to go for, and you're most likely going to be making more money on it down in the long term. So really, think about that when you're doing product research, and I can guarantee that down the line, it's gonna sell, and it's gonna sell more because you're actually helping people. When it comes to selling a product, this is one other main point before I head off with this video. I'm not gonna ramble on too much more about it, but you have to think about this as well. When you're bringing a product into the market, you need to have it needs to bring value to the market. And that's why a lot of things like skin treatment really do successful on the market, and a lot of things like a lot of beauty products, a lot of baby products, that are brought to the market. That's why it's in my top categories to sell. If you haven't checked out that video, it's the top 5 categories to sell in Australia. They're in my top 2, beauty and the baby niche, because the products that most of these people are bringing to the market, they're solving a problem. Whether that's skin treatment, whether that's just the basic stuff for a baby, what mothers need for their baby. It's fulfilling a need for the customer. It's helping the customer. Therefore, people are going to want it. Therefore, people are going to buy it. So you can look into the stuff of is my price good enough? Are the images good enough? Is the title good enough? At the end of the day, if you have a product that isn't solving a problem for anyone, then you're more than likely not going to sell. And that's the truth of it. That's what you need to look, and that's something that I'm going to be delving deeper into. That's something that I'm going to be putting in. I'm in the works at the moment of a 3.0 update for the Amazon Seller Excellence course. Guys, if you're not in there, if you're not in the Facebook group, I'm just trying to really drill this information, into everyone, and it really comes down to knowing your customers. So when you're looking at products, delve into their niche, find out what people are saying about your products, go into forums, find out what people want, find out what people need, what problems are they having, in their niche. If you're in the baby niche, find out what the main problem is. Let's just say you're into, you're looking at baby toothbrushes, for instance, find out what problems people are having with other baby toothbrushes in your niche, and, find out about, what problems they're having, what needs to be solved. It really comes down to understanding your customers, guys. So that's all I'm going to leave you here for with today. It's really about understanding your customers at the end of the day, guys, and it's really about bringing a product to the market that's going to help people and that is bringing value to them, because at the end of the day, you're offering them a product. If you're not offering them a service, you're offering them a product which they will exchange money, for you with. So let's just say if you're selling a product for $20, your customer has to verify in their mind that the $20 that they're giving to you is going to be in exchange for something of equal or more value, to what they're giving the $20 for. So you have to think about that. It's just that's the basics of it. That's the basics of selling, basics of economics. It's just the basics of understanding your customers. You have a product that's going to help your customer base, you're going to win in the market. That's as simple as it is. That's what I've done with my products. That's what I've done with the course. And in time you will win. Put effort into it. Obviously, you got to put effort into it to grow your brand, to grow your product. But at the end of the day, at the core of it, if it's helping people, then you're going to win. That's the basics of it. So apart from that, guys, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you have any questions about this, message me, comment on this video, message me through Facebook, get into the Facebook group. It's getting close to 500 members. It's growing really well, which is awesome. And if you're not already enrolled in the Amazon Seller Excellence course, get in there, guys. It's so beneficial. I have 70 plus students in there now, and it's growing, and I just can't wait to get more people in. By the way, if you guys don't know, I'm running a flash sale on the course. It's only $3.99 AUD for you Aussies out there. It's only $3.99. It's going to be running over the weekend, and it'll say so on the Facebook group. Get in now, guys, and I'll see you guys on the other side.